Hi, welcome. Today is day 32 of my 40 days on the mat, and today is a tribute to chair yoga. And I think when we hear chair yoga, it's like I'm not old. And what we forget is that a chair is a prop, not just a type of yoga. And what I'd like to do is focus on a few moves that you can be doing throughout the whole day, because a lot of times we can't just designate a chunk of time to yoga. It's more so sporadically through our day, which can be just as effective, if not more. So I'd first just like to start out with finding a chair, and the folding chair works really nicely. You want to be able to have your feet flat on the floor, and typically we don't spend much time sitting way back on the chair unless the pose really calls for that. We want to more so sit to the center or to the edge of the chair. Now, once in a while I have someone that is a little bit shorter, and they just simply put blocks underneath their feet in order to raise their feet up so that they can be flat on something as well. So if that's you, feel free to do that. We'll open our knees, and as you open your knees, now you can sit back a little bit towards the edge of the chair. It won't allow you to go all the way back. Exhale, fold forward into a seated forward bend on the chair. Exhale, relax the head as you keep the feet planted. Soften your shoulders as you feel a nice amount of space through your lower back and through your sacrum and hips. Move your sitting bones to create even more space. Long, deep breathing. Mentally bring yourself to that place of stillness. Allow yourself to unwind and stop trying to be someone that you're not. Welcome in exactly where you are in life right now and know that that is just right. Roll yourself back up. Awesome. As you feel upright on your chair, still keeping your feet wide, take your left hand and hold the right hook of the chair. So I'm actually going to hold on to the edge. Now, depending on the width of your thigh or the size of your chair, you may be more on the front of the chair. So don't get caught up in that. Just find a good place to take hold. Relax your left shoulder and turn yourself to face your right side. So nice deep breath in. Keep the belly somewhat strong. Shoot now your right arm up to like a cactus pose and start to lean to your left, keeping your right hip grounded and your belly strong. So now I can take this top arm and grab for the side of my head and reach for the elbow, or I can take that arm and reach it long. If I turn my torso, I'm going to be more in my QL and more in my lower back. If I turn more open, I'm going to be more in my hip flexor and psoas. So for many of us, if you do a lot of sitting during the day, our quadricerebromium, which is a lower back muscle attaching ribs to sacrum, one on each side of the spine, gets really stiff. It already is a stiff muscle, but it gets even more stiff, which can create a lot of dull ache in the lower back. So this is a really good stretch. I do this a lot in our yin yoga. Keep the bottom shoulder relaxed. If you're way up here, just make sure that the shoulder isn't hiking. Keep that down, so the anchoring of the arm is really important. A little twist or turn of the torso and arm will just change the stretch on the side body, so you have to find what works for you. Try to anchor your right thigh and hip as much as you can. On the exhalation, keep reaching through your right arm. Circle as you reach and come to center. Release everything back into that forward fold. Long, deep breathing. Allow the past few days to roll off your shoulders. And just welcome yourself into a new version of the self. Roll yourself up. The head never leads, the head follows. Which, when we think about ourselves energetically, we're listening to our gut, our intuition, rather than our cabeza. All right, right hand to the chair. Relax your shoulder and turn your torso without hiking the hip. So we want to try to turn in those really tight lower spinal muscles. The fold of the right elbow turns to the left. Relax that shoulder. Start with a bent elbow as you lean off to the side. Arm slides alongside the head as you reach laterally. If this is a good sweet spot for you, stay here. If not, a slight turn of the torso, open or close, will switch you from front side or back body. If I'm holding the head, I can help with any strain, but then I'm elbowing through my tricep and elbow to try to create as much length as I can. Breathe. I often call this kind of a hurt so good because it really feels like a very deep, intense stretch, but you feel awesome once you're out of it. And no excuses, right? We all have a chair. If it helps, just close your eyes and try to envision that space that you're cultivating. There's nothing worse than feeling trapped in your own body. Now keep reaching with your top arm as you circle towards the floor. Coming to center instead of coming upright allows the muscles that you've just lengthened a chance to re-collaborate with the rest of the body. Kind of know their now new role as a longer, more functionally apt body part. Full breath. Really notice your exhale. Just sink yourself towards the floor. Again, letting go of any hostility, any aggression, any anger or anxiety. Roll yourself up. Awesome. All right, I'm going to turn my chair sideways so you can see me from a side profile. Put the chair in the side profile, sit to the edge of the chair, feet are flat on the floor, and grab the inside edges of the chair. If you don't have that, the top of the chair will work just fine. Inhale now, staying seated, focus on a gentle arch in the lower back and an extreme lift in your heart center as you open through your shoulders and allow the chest to stretch. I'm going to look over my right shoulder, inhale. Feel the left shoulder pull back just a little bit more. And then head to center, and then opposite side. And then head to center. Drop your body forward now over your thighs and hug under your hamstrings, belly to thighs, back body spreads open as you hug the legs. Roll yourself back up. Come off the chair and face the mouth of the chair now. I'm just going to move mine back a little bit. With one hand on each edge of the chair, take a few steps back and come into a plank position. Inhale through the nose, broad back, slide the shoulders away. Exhale, neutral pelvis. Try to come high onto the feet. Exhale, right knee up and into the chest. Pelvic core is strong. Shoot that leg back. Let's try the opposite side. Left knee up and into the chest. Notice how I'm not pulling backwards. Think of this as like your 15-minute morning break. And then into downward dog. Hands shoot parallel. Relax the head. More of like a wall dog here because there's really not this kind of upward action. It's more of a backward pull. But keep the folds of the elbows turning up so you can really get a good underarm stretch.
Now inhale and exhale. Come up high to the balls of the feet. Roll into a nice little upward dog. I'm going to spin my hands out, bend my knees, and move the heart forward. So now I can extend my legs, but if I'm feeling pain in the lower back, not a good option. Push out of the shoulders. That bending the knees really helps you bring the body more forward, which is going to save your lower back. Exhale, lift through the hips and core, roll back into dog pose. Take a couple good breaths. And roll yourself up as you step towards your chair. Come onto your back now, facing the mouth of your chair. Scooch fairly close to the mouth of the chair where your feet can come to the top. So nice deep breath in. Exhale, roll off the floor and roll your shoulders under. Chin is to the chest. Hands should easily be able to support your hips, assisting in a press of the sacrum away towards the lower back. Watching not to let the knees open, keep the legs parallel as you emphasize weight on the back of the head and shoulders, not on the neck. Feel the volume of breath come into your lungs. Walk the feet together and consider bringing the right leg off the chair. Thighs are parallel, legs are square and parallel. Flex your foot and breathe. Exhale, drop that foot and try the opposite side. Remember, yoga doesn't have to all be hard work. It can be fun and creative. Lower the leg, release your shoulders, and roll yourself down. Knees into the chest. Turn your head side to side. And now just widen the knees. Come into a little bit of a happy baby. And then maybe into a straddle. Press your sacrum towards the floor so you feel like your lower back is actually arching off the mat. It will bring a much more potent groin stretch, especially for someone that has more open hips like I do. That lower back sinking just totally takes all of the stretch away from the inner groin and hips. By coming into neutral, I bring that stretch back to my body again. And then knees bend, bring the feet together, legs onto the top of the chair. Rest your legs completely so there's no pain in the hip flexors. Arms come overhead, and we'll take a couple rounds of breath here just to allow our practice to sink in. Be patient. Allow all anxiety to pass. Heavy your legs as much as you can. Let your belly sink into the floor. If you have any area of your body that's still harboring pain, whether it be mental, physical, or emotional, soften yourself to that. Forgive yourself. Slowly bring the legs off the chair and roll to your side as you slowly come up. So I have a little practice for you when you leave your mat today and move out into your everyday life. It's important that the way we look at the world is often we should stop and also see that that's usually the way we look at ourselves and vice versa. So if you find yourself hard on the people around you, hard on the world, very critical or judgmental, are you also looking at yourself that way? We often act out on others how we perceive ourselves. So try to act out on others with kindness rather than harsh words or aggression or criticism.
And as you speak compassion and you speak truth and you speak kindness, know that not only will you start to do that to yourself as an individual, but you will also receive that back yourself from others. From my heart to yours, from my soul to yours, thank you so much for your time today. And start to look at a chair totally different. Remember, every little bit counts. Every little bit is yoga. Namaste.